Welcome to the third video of the Doorways Introduction to Occupancy course. Today, I'll be showing you how to assign and move in a household to a unit and answering some of the common questions that go along with those topics. So today, let's go ahead and move our buddy Sean Conso into a unit. To do that, we're going to want to navigate to the household page by using the search bar, which is that magnifying glass on the top right side of the page. And we'll see here that currently the Sean Conso household is not currently moved into a unit, nor is he assigned. The first step in moving in a household to a unit will be assignment. To complete this, we're going to go over to the handy toolbar up here on the top left, and we will navigate down to assign. Once clicking here, we'll get a list of available units for our household to move into. Why don't we go ahead and select this low rent unit here. And once we have that selected, you can click assign. You'll then be prompted to include an assignment date. I'm going to go ahead and pretend like I missed assigning this unit on the 1st of this month. We'll click next. You will get a projected rent charge. This is generated from things like the household income, assets, and expenses, and based off of the rent calc for this program. If that looks okay to you, go ahead and click next. And then once we see here, we'll have a review of the information and we can click finish. And we have successfully assigned Sean Conso to the unit 268 Thin Way. Now that we've assigned our household to a unit, we can go ahead and start the move-in process. And we'll do that in the toolbar on the top left. In the same menu that we clicked assign, we can click move in. Once clicking move in, we'll be brought into a wizard here. It will ask us to confirm the move-in information. And then we'll be given the option to select a move-in date. Now let's say that Sean Conso actually moved in on the 2nd, and I'm just getting around to updating this household's information. We can set a custom recertification date. And here's where we will be able to define whether or not the rent will be prorated. We'll go ahead and select yes, as we want him to pay for all of the days that he was in the unit. But keep in mind, this is something that is left up to your internal policies and procedures at your housing authority. Once we've selected prorated rent, we can click next. And we'll be brought to the TTP breakdown. Here you can see how things like adjusted annual income and utility allowances may affect the total rent calculation. But also, just as importantly, this is where you will select whether or not this household qualifies for a special fixed rate rent. It is very important for programs where there are fixed rate rent details, and by clicking yes, you can select whether or not you will charge a fixed rate, and you can provide a fixed rate reason as well as the fixed rate rent charge, which applies monthly here. I'll deselect that as I want this household to be paying rent based off the rent calc for this program. And we can click next. It will ask us to review and complete information to complete the move-in. And once we've reviewed this and everything looks okay, we can go ahead and click finish. Once this is completed, the unit will be moved in by Sean Conso household. You'll notice that as our household's rent was prorated, the rent charge for the prorated time will apply. With that being said, when we move in a unit, the rent will not automatically generate based on a backdate. And this brings me to my next point. To perform an interim certification, we'll go to that same toolbar and you can select it from the dropdown. One of the most common questions we get is why a rent does not update to a backdated amount when performing an interim certification. So say the rent charge has increased by $50 and you want that $50 to apply to all 3 of the previous months. When performing an interim certification, this rent charge will not backdate to correct those charges that have already been applied due to monthly rent, and you will need to manually adjust those by clicking into the tenant ledger. This concludes our video for today. Make sure you complete all the walkthroughs related to these topics so you can try them for yourself. and we'll see you in the next video.